Hi guys, Lee here, and I'm just making this video which is brutally honest. It's pretty personal to be fair, but I know it's equally as important. Next week is Eating Disorders Awareness Week 2018, which is very personal and close to my heart for me. Some of you may or may not know my backstory, but I had an eating disorder from the ages of about 13 to 29, so even when I qualified as a personal trainer, I'm 35 now. My purpose of the video and to share the information I'm going to share is to hopefully reach out and help people who are suffering from eating disorders realize that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I genuinely never thought I was going to get better. But here I am now, and hopefully to help you realize that talking about things is the first step on the road to recovery. Now, you don't have to talk to thousands of people like I'm doing. Just getting started by speaking to one person will begin that journey to recovery. So primarily for me, it was bulimia. I would make myself sick after food, whether it was a biscuit or whether it was enough to feed a small army. And it wasn't about weight, it was about control and a form of self-harm as well. And it got bad. It got worse and worse and worse as the years went by, so that I was sick more than 10 times a day easily. I didn't have to even put my fingers down my throat to be sick. I lost friends, I lost relationships, I spent a shitload of money buying food. I lost 4 of my front teeth. I had to get them rebuilt. I spent 2 years at the maxillofacial unit in Aberdeen getting those rebuilt. They now have crowns on them. I really did lose a lot to it. And you know what, most of all, I just lost the experiences that lots of people have from the ages 13 to 29. So basically their teenage years and their 20s. I feel like my eating disorder stole that from me. But at the time, it was my best friend, which might be quite hard for people to without an eating disorder to relate to that. But it was like my best friend. It was always there. But then on the negative flip side, it was always there. And I managed to keep it hidden for years. I didn't tell anybody. It was a big old secret. I was a professional liar when it came to food. And the fact that I lived away from home, I worked away from home for lots of years, that it was easier, so to speak, to keep it all hidden. And you know what, I tried various things, and different stuff will work for you if you do suffer from an eating disorder. You know, I tried counselling, I had counsellors, various ones in Scotland and in England. I had psychiatrists, I've had a life coach, I've been in Cornhill, being an outpatient. I've tried lots of different things, and I'm not quite sure whether it did help a little bit, but I still wasn't in that position. I think I just wasn't ready to get better yet. And the time came when I realized that actually, if I continue the way I'm going, I am not going to be here to even speak to anybody. Like, it was pretty bad. I've been heavily overweight, very much underweight, both ends of the spectrum. But you know what? You can actually maintain what looks like a healthy weight and still have an eating disorder. So it's important to point that out too. It wasn't until really I realized, shit, I don't want to die, for lack of being dramatic. And when I discovered personal training, and really finding fitness was a big kicker for me to help me turn things around. Like I said, even when I went up to do my personal trainer course in Glasgow for 6 weeks, I was doing my best to not be sick. But you know what, when you have this illness, and it's a bit like an addiction as well, it's very difficult to just be like, you know, and cut it. But it was less and less, and then as I learned more about my body, as I was pushing my body harder and finding it difficult to do what I was doing, I smoked at that point, I still drank. You know, it's important to note I was on Prozac, 60 milligrams of Prozac, not when I did my personal trainer course, but I had been, various antidepressants, sleeping tablets, you know, the whole shebang. Throughout the years, I mean, I've got about 14 years of stories I could tell you, but, you know, I'm just kind of telling you the highlights, so to speak. You know, it was really bad. However, throughout the years, finding fitness, being surrounded by positive people, it really helped me turn my life around. And now I'm a personal trainer, I've got my own business, I'm married, I've got a beautiful daughter, Things are much. There's that light. I'm at that light at the end of the tunnel, but it's, it's always there. Even though I have had an eating disorder, I will always have an eating disorder. It will always be there. I can just manage it much better. But it's taken time of chipping away constantly throughout the years. But the first thing is talking about it, accepting it, and trying to find a way forward that works for you. Now, you may or not know of BEAT. It's UK's leading organisation, charity to help people with eating disorders and also families with people with eating disorders, because it can be tough on them too. Well, it is tough on them too. So I'll put a link somewhere for you guys, anybody who's interested, wherever you're watching this. I'll put a link to BEAT if you would like to contact them. I'm not a counsellor myself, so, I just wanted to share my story, give you motivation, give you inspiration, tell you there's light. Life can completely turn around, but you just got to start by making that little step. So I made a video last year and I always think twice about hitting that publish and that upload button, but you know what? It's an important thing to do. So feel free to share this as well, guys, if you know anyone that it might help, or if you just want to share it to help raise awareness, that would be awesome. But yeah, I hope it helps. Thanks.